Sick. I think this was a pretty good double jump actually, but like if the goal was to back air, you needed to fade this way. And if you wanted to like up air, then you needed to be fading this way. But it didn't really look like there was that much room to fade. You might have landed on a platform or something. I think the stomp is something that's really reoccurring. Like this exact situation happens a few times where like they're under a side platform and he stomps to try and catch them wave dashing through. I think that like these kinds of options, like this stomp out of shield, I think that this is like a not very good option 0. Like this is something that you should do in response to them like wave dashing through you a lot, you know? But here it's just kind of like the option 0 and it gets him opened up here when I don't think he needed to. This would actually be a situation where Wizrobe would have jabbed, I think, at least in my opinion. I jab in these kinds of situations a lot too, where like Falco, you like hit Falco and you're both at like a pretty much even frame advantage, and this Falco has already shown he really likes to shoot lasers a lot, so he might chase with a laser, and you can just stand there and jab. And a jab would have worked here, you know, like bam, it would have hit before the laser came out. Jabbing like that's actually really good, in my opinion. Oh yeah, there's the stomp out of shield again. Oh, you could have killed him. That was free real estate. If you're ever like not confident, something that I think is really good is like when you get this strong knee, you know, he's at 50. You can just weak knee here. Like you can do weak knee double jump up air, like immediately. It's literally impossible to miss. And if they like dip unexpectedly, then you don't like get fucked up or anything. That's what I like to do. If I'm not like that confident that I'm gonna hit the second one. But I think this was free real estate. That was a nice stomp. He got caught up in the lasers. It's a pretty good combo. In these sorts of situations where like I'm against a laser heavy Falco, or like even just a normal Falco, I like to shield this laser and wave dash to the ledge. I'm a big weenie, but it's so that shit like this doesn't happen. Like the roll was kind of ill-advised a little bit because it was more like a panic option. Because like ideally at least, I think, you know, if you were like right here and at like the apex of his jump, you would be like right here, if that makes any sense. The preemptive roll is like really godlike in that situation, but this is just like a little too far. And he might just laser, you know, like if he just lasers, then you get beamed. So I like to just get to the ledge when I can. Just like shield the laser and get to the ledge. It's something to think about. sort of seems to happen a lot. This guy's like shooting a bazillion lasers, and you like get caught. And you're trying to turn around here. It looks like you're trying to run away, but then the laser gets you. I think this is where a preemptive roll could have been really good. Definitely would have worked here. At the same time, it's just kind of a tough situation. You could just also shield there. Like Falcon can camp shield against Falco. It's not that big of a deal. It's better than you know, getting hit. I need to be more aggressive with the up airs on side platforms, but we'll see. I don't really like this read very much. Just cause like, I don't know, if you're just playing risk reward, the reason this guy keeps rolling into the center is because he doesn't want to risk getting red and dying at like 30 near the ledge, so he just keeps rolling in. Because he wants to maintain stage advantage. And the reason that I don't really like this read so much isn't that it was like, you know, a bad read on Tekken place or something like that. It's just that like even if it worked, he's at you know, he's only gonna be at like what, 30%, 32% or something when it bounces him up. It's just not very high reward, you know, for the risk, which is completely like, you know, losing your advantage here. Like maybe more throws would have been better here. Maybe reading with something that would let you put on the pressure here, like a stomp or a knee. Like if you had read Tekken place with a knee, there's more pressure on Falco to like do something when he wakes up. But when he saw that it was stomp, he's fine with just jumping there and lasering, you know? Might need to be a little more ready to grab those. Although it is kind of scary to grab just because he could shine afterwards, but you can just delay the grab even a little bit. I mean, yeah, Falco could spot dodge the grab, but like the point is that I think they're I think like this shield afterwards is maybe giving up too much, you know? I mean, I guess he could have just bared again, but you could have like F tilted there and like shown him that he's not allowed to just do shit out of shield randomly. Oh, that was whack. Here's that stomp out of shield again. Like in the same position too. I think that's maybe looking like a bad habit or something. I actually really liked this pressure. I think that it would have been better if the nair, if it was just simpler though, like just nair, short hop nair and fade back, you know? So you'd catch the roll. And I guess you caught it anyways. Well, actually, never mind. You're nuts. There's that stomp out of shield again. Dangerous. Oh yeah, see, that's nuts. So that's a much better time to go for a read, you know, like practically anything you hit this dude with on this read is gonna work. Also, he's just rolling left to right towards the center. You know, they're like easy reads. You know, Stomp would have been sick. Knee was pretty sick because it led to knee. Stomp might have given him time to DI correctly. You know, it's a good read. It's playing for the risk reward a little better, is the point. Oh, rip. It's like every time somebody posts something about like shield defense against Falco, I think that these sorts of situations that are occurring right here are situations where wave dash out of shield is so good. Like this is super high nair on shield. If you just wave dash out of shield towards center, you're out of there. You know, there's not really anything Falco can do to stop you either. So that's something to keep in mind. Like you don't have to like roll or, you know, I think I don't know if he meant to drop shield here. You probably didn't, but because the shine maybe messed up your wave dash timing. But you know, you most of the time you can do that before they reach the ground. You know, wave dash away, start the wave dash. It's just a really good thing to be able to do. See, the stomp works out for you, but did it like work out because it was a good stomp, or did it work out because like he was just dicking around doing random bullshit there? Like I think it's because he's just dicking around. I think these stomps out of shield are a bad habit. I like that full hop. Okay, you're out of there. Full hopping there is actually really good. Like back here. Because Falco has to commit so much to cover that. Like, in order to cover that properly, he would have to have, like, jumped here and then immediately full faded towards you with a full hop back air. You know? He's not going to do that. So, the full hops there are really good. This is another situation where I think you could have wave dashed out of shield. The quality of the video is really bad, but well, the roll there works too. It's whatever. I think maybe this is a thing that you're having a lot of trouble with. Is he's mixing up whether or not he's going to land on the ground with a laser or with an aerial. But I think that a majority of the time he chooses this laser. And if that's the case, you can just up air. You know, like you can just go for the trade. You know, quote unquote trade, assuming that he does a move. And if he didn't do the move, he dies. So, you know, pretty worth most of the time. Probably pretty worth even though you're at 111%. Although definitely the risk is higher for you there. But at like lower percents or even mid percents, I think that that's a risk worth going for. Oh no. Feels bad, man. Oh. Oh, you kind of got caught here. Something I really like to do here is I'll do like this full hop, or like full dash, full hop up air, and then I'll do this stomp, but I won't fast fall it. I think, or I'll like delay the fast fall so that I land on this side platform more accurately. I do fast fall it. Just because, like, Falco has to get really creative to lock you into shield up here if he's down there. And if he didn't jump into the dare, then he's still down here, you know? And he might do stuff like full hop back air or whatever, and then you just wave dash off and you're gone, you know? Or shield drop or whatever. So I like to, in this situation, do the up air that you did. Although sometimes, usually I'll like dash here, full hop up with the up air, and then just fade away. But this works too. You know, you fade all the way in there, and then double jump. And just instead of fast falling immediately like you did here, just delay the fast fall so you land there. It's safer. It makes it so you don't get caught down here, just like the worst place to be. Alright, the stomps out of shield are 4-1 in failure so far. Failure to success. You know, I usually don't condone the use of side B, but this guy's lasering so much that you could just go for side B reads. He's at a percent where it's pretty good risk reward too, although you are on last stock, but I mean like in general, not necessarily like just in this situation. And he tends to shoot the lasers like at this height, because you have been able to nair over them the times that you've gone for it. You could have like full hop or like short hop drifted this way and probably nared over it, but it looks like you like missed your input or something. You didn't press a button, so Falcon's big idiot feet were in the way. I think situations like these are like part of the reason that trying to hop away to a side platform is like fine. Okay. You're not quite making enough use of your openings. It's easier said than done, obviously, but it is what it is. I think you could have kept up airing here. You know, it started to run around a lot, which is really dangerous. You also had like almost full momentum here. Usually when I'm up being on platforms, I like try to maintain it so that I land on the side that's closest to the center of the stage. Just because like if they're occupying all the way to the edge here, then it's whatever. You know, you didn't hit them, it's fine. You still have center stage, but you cover like 3/4 of the platform with that same up air, and then you don't get yourself in these kinds of situations where you're directly below Falco. You see, he even shields because he's afraid of another up air, but you just kind of like don't do it. And the reason that I think pressuring him there more is good is because it causes him to start shielding here, which means he's going to start shield dropping. And one of the really great things about Captain Falcon's up air is that he doesn't have... I think he's like one of the best characters in the game at playing around shield drops, because all he has to do is modify his timing. So instead of like doing up air, like instant up air into instant up air, he can do instant up air into like delayed up air if he knows that somebody's going to have time to shield and that they will do it and that they will shield drop. Because people aren't shield dropping, you know, in reaction to the end of their hit lag or shield stun. They're shield dropping when when an immediate attack is usually over, if that makes any sense. So if you just delay the up air just a little bit, then they'll fall right into the up air. It happens all the time. And even at these low percents, it's worth it, because they pop down over here. They're probably disoriented, and you're at a frame advantage. You can just keep pressing buttons on them. But you don't really, like, force him to play that game at all. He just kind of can shield on a platform, and you'll just give it to him, for the most part. That was a nice nair. And you just, like, misspaced the knee. That sucks. I think in general, it kind of looks like whenever you miss something, have you ever noticed how whenever you miss something, you're always just barely past them? See what I'm saying? And I think that's because, at least it looks like, it could be because you dash for too long, or you just have, it just looks like you have full momentum for too long. Like if you do this same dash forward, but then immediately press the jump button and then hold back, and sort of, and then so that you get an analog jump back with momentum going forward, if that makes sense, you can drift back in, and you would end up like around here, if that makes any sense. It's kind of hard to explain. But a lot of the times I think it's just because you have too much momentum going forward. Like it's the same thing with those up airs really early on in this match. Oh, even earlier. See, like ideally you're landing here, somewhere around here, but you land over here, just a little too far. I think it's because you're like lacking a little bit of control with that momentum. There's that stomp out of shield again. I don't think stomp out of shield is bad, but I keep pointing it out because it's just not like, it's an option 0 that's stuck, you know? Like it's just your response in exactly this kind of situation. But I think that stomp out of shield is too committal of an option to be an option 0, or a particularly good option 0, because this has worked once, and I'm pretty sure it's because of a technical error on your opponent's part. Every other time it has failed in exactly the same way. And it's just because it's just being used at the wrong time. Like the metagame, the like player versus player metagame hasn't reached the point where it will work, you know? And I think that maybe you could replace it with, you know, something like wave dash out of shield, or full hop, or even just holding shield, you know, just these other defensive options that I think you need to like have a better fundamental skill in using, or even just a better frequency of use. is kind of another one of those situations where he like falls with a laser, but I don't blame you at all for not putting out an aerial because you're at 138, and if you just fell and back aired, you die. um, so it's kind of rough that you get caught there, but you didn't need to get hit. I think you're still getting tripped up by lasers a little too much. Which, I mean, it's really fucking hard to not get tripped up by lasers, but, you know. On you, Mr. Dash there. You're just trying to act too early a lot of the time. Oh, and he double jumped into that one. That was really nice. It's a super good bait. If you were just a little faster on the grab, you probably could have grabbed his ass. Or just put out an aerial, you know. On you. You meant to grab there, but you got stuck. It was a nice roll. I think you just gave him too much here. Just ran a little too far away, and then you got caught up again. Oh. See, in these kinds of weird situations, I don't blame you for going for this knee. It looks like he did it a little too early, though. Or maybe jumped too early, and I'm taking a look at it. No. Just kind of a weird, like, spacing there. He, like, went really far out. Like, max distance did that. This is one of those situations where, like, I think this exact kind of situation is why Wizrobe does the, like, you know, I've knocked you off the stage and I will now, like, short hop no fast fall here to cover your double jump illusion. I think that would have been really, really good here. I don't think this is necessarily bad, but it just did not work out, you know? But I think that's exactly why Wizrobe does the, like, short hop, knee, like, no fast fall, weak knee kind of thing. That was a pretty good instant double jump. You also stopped using instant double jump really early on in the set, and I think that, like, I think you should continue to use it, or, like, iron out exactly when and how you want to use it, because I think this was a good use. There was a lot you could have done in this situation. The jump was good. Like, you could have jumped to this platform and wave landed, and then upon seeing that he was coming in, like, shield drop bared or something like that, you could have full hopped up this way and just landed there. You could have, like, full hopped up here and double jumped to the top platform, but you chose kind of a more committal option, but it wasn't a bad one. Like, this Falco has been chasing you down basically the whole game, so it makes sense that you would go for something like this, you know. But maybe Stomp isn't what you want. I think that, like, a really good thing to do in these sorts of situations are to pretty much rely on, like, up air or back air. Or knee if you have a really hard read, but, like, I think that the reason that I say that is because you, with up air, or with like up air, for instance, if we're applying it to this exact situation, you could like double jump here, and then you would be able to decide right now if you wanted to press up air, and then you just would. And you wouldn't miss out on very much frame advantage at all. Like, Falco would be pressured now, you know? But Falco's less pressured here because he went for stomp. And even if the stomp hit, like, he'll just bounce on the ground, you know? It doesn't earn you that much. Whereas, like, if in some variation of this situation the up air had hit, that's death percent, that's combo percent. And he's holding this way, so it's higher reward aerial choice. So you went for a defensive option here, which I don't necessarily disagree with, but I think that there's something that you should consider, which is that, like, in these situations where, you know, Falco, you have, like, passed Falco, he's either going to recognize that you're far away and short hop laser, or he's going to chill out where he's at, you know? Maybe even put out like some walling bear because he might be afraid that you would do something like land here and then immediately jump at him with an air to beat exactly what's happening here. I think when you're at really low percents, going for that sort of risk is at its strongest. And it's something that would like maybe prevent some of these like situations from having to occur. You know, like more calculated aggression in that way. It looks like you're just acting a little too early. Like you're trying to jump here, but you got like caught up. It's just like what lasers are good at fucking up. I think something that's pretty nice about like platforms, especially on this stage, is that I think that you should try to spend a lot of time on them. Pretty much because of shit like this, where Falco just kind of like shoots lasers at you from really far away. And I think that like this whole sequence would have been less difficult if you were just better at dealing with the lasers being shot at you. But it's difficult. I mean, it makes things hard. So I understand why it was tough. So overall, I think that like I think that you just need to keep practicing moving around even though lasers are being shot at you a lot, and you need to uh make some like more calculated reads, I think. But that wasn't as big of a thing as just getting locked down by the lasers. I think that's really the big deal. Recognizing like the situations where Falco will try to short hop laser and being good at moving even though lasers are being shot at you are like the two things that will make or break the matchup. Um, Also, maybe standing on the side platforms more. You know, you can't shoot lasers at you very safely anymore if you're just on a side platform, because you could do something like run off short hop nair. You could force him to full hop to shoot a laser and then just run off the platform and get under him. You know, there's like more things you could do there. Another thing is that I think you should stop stomping out of shield as your like option 0 in a situation where Falco like lands right behind you after an aerial. Just because it's just not very strong. Like, it's just not a very strong option 0. Should just replace it with moving out, or you know, even like a short hop bear and fading away. You know. There are also situations like this one where, oh wait, is this what I was thinking of? Yeah, so like in this situation, there's lots of times I think against Falco where like you could have stopped him from shooting another, or like put out a hitbox that might hit him. Maybe this one isn't the best example, but every time Falco jumps at you and shoots a laser and then jumps again and shoots another laser and like lands near you, that's usually a situation where you could have hit him, you know, which is why being able to move really well out of lasers and shit is so important, because it means that you would be able to place aerials in the way, you know, because he's getting greedy, trying to trace you too far too safely, you know, like he lasers you here and you like you dash back, but you know his second laser lands pretty close to you, you know, like right there. And imagine if instead of like dashing back here and shielding, you had dashed back and immediately jumped and like bared or something and put a hitbox right here. He would have run right into it. And that's a good way to stop Falco from doing that. So I think literally your only issue in the matchup is just moving around even though the lasers are hitting you, and recognizing situations where Falco will want to laser, as well as recognizing situations where you can stop him from shooting another one. Because Falco will only ever do laser, dash forward laser, if he thinks you're going to run away. You know, he's trying to chase you down, but but that's a risk for him. He can't just do the second one for free. You know, most of the time. You can challenge that and make him afraid. Um, Hopefully that helps. I don't feel like any of the other stuff I was going to talk about is really all that important in comparison. Like, you know, getting more reward off of your reads, and or like choosing better aerials for your instant double jumps and stuff like that. I think that's just shit that, like, I mean, you already know that.